Thumbs up. That's a nice greeting for a live stream. Obviously, I'm outside. I took a walk and brought some little goats with me, and I tied them in a place where they could eat some green grass. It's really good for them. They've been eating hay now for, a couple of months, and for these ruminants, it's just really good for them to get the natural with the vitamins and minerals that's in it, not a dried food. So, who's here? Can you guys sign in? Or say shalom or wave or something like that, or is that just a bot? Maybe it's a bot. Oh, and one of them's gone. Oh, Bobby Marklar. Hello. Well, I got that. That didn't take long. Somebody else left? Maybe they're leaving and coming back. All right, it doesn't matter. I'm actually sitting down. Oh, there's one girl's track. Hello, shalom. I'm actually sitting down because I sprained my knee. I was doing stuff with goats today, and I stepped down in a pretty big hole, and I could see. I mean, it was very rocky, and there were sticks and everything in the bottom. And for whatever reason, my leg kind of went forward, and I wrenched my knee, and then I did a bunch of other stuff. So I didn't bring a chair. This is sort of impromptu. I had gotten the idea for this video earlier this morning and then forgotten it. And then when it came back to me, I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do it, as soon as I can. And I like to do them in the morning because I'm not as tired and I can give you a nice background. This is very outdoorsy. That is a mountain, over there. Whoa, I can't get my hand to do the thing there. Up, that's a mountain. So I'm sitting down because my knee hurts and I've been bending it back and forth. There is Lone Star living in Westhold Forge. And it's lunchtime, so he can be here. I was thinking about you today, Westhold. I know I showed the Dutch oven lid lifter, but I feel like I should get more shout outs to you. Westhold Forge is a blacksmith. He is a independent guy, and it's kind of, I wouldn't say his hobby, but it's kind of like his hobby. And there's Grace Akers, shalom, and there's Victory Purpose, shalom. Anyway, he does his stuff kind of off the cuff, and it's creative and it's kind of cool. And he has a channel, Westhold Forge, and I think he even takes orders. Hey, Rock Lick Ranch, shalom, welcome. I hope your place is doing well and your ATV and everything. Return to Jehovah. I love that title. There's Scotty John. There's Chasing Life. There's William Welch. I make stuff I like, so I'm never disappointed. He's got a great sense of humor. He's got these cute little snails he makes and stuff. So if you like hand forged stuff, you might check him out and contact him. He's a good guy, a fun guy, nice guy. Anyway, so I actually got notified of your live stream. Good. I say this all the time when I do these things. I realize if I said like every Tuesday at 8 o'clock, I'm going to do a live stream, it would make it easier on everybody else. But I'm retired and I've had schedules and I can keep schedules, but I really, really am enjoying my retired time. And so I don't want to say it's a burden, but by 8 o'clock on a Tuesday, I'm exhausted. It's nice doing stuff weather today. How are you folks? It's a very nice day. And that's why I'm outside. And we don't have anything on our schedule. We've had stuff all weekend. Looks crisp. Yeah, and it's kind of lazy too. Let's see if I can show you. No, I won't. My Ridgeback is laying down in the sun, just chilling. Because it is kind of please do your live streams in the morning, says the Greek Homestead. I was just explaining how I hate to like schedule things, especially now. I'm just not a very conventional person. Greek Homestead, I find it more convenient for me to do them when I'm out like down at the ducks or like today I'm doing stuff with goats. It's more convenient to me to do it during the day. So I can't say I promise to do it in the morning, but it's probably going to be seems to be more like morning. so we on the other side can watch them as well. Well, I think it's cool. I actually told my daughter about Yasu, Yasu, the other day, and she was kind of tickled by that. I was tickled by that. I mean, I was born on Cyprus. I don't know if you know that, Creek Homestead, but yeah, somewhere in there we're kind of like kindred spirits. And chasing life's been a while. I'm glad that you're able to show up. All y'all. I'm glad you're all able to be here. So, end of the pandemic. I think this is a good topic. I think every single one of you probably have an opinion on, do you think it's the end of the pandemic? Word on the internet is that, shalom, Sarah Hoskins, that Biden is going to declare the end of the pandemic in March as part of a re-election. I don't know if it's for himself or for other Democrats for the midterm elections. He's going to declare the pandemic over. And my point about it is this. Hey, McMikey, been a while. I said 2 years ago in videos. I said 3 to 5 years ago in videos I did on the flu, that the 1918 pandemic, which was a real pandemic, blah, 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 50 million people dead. I'm sure you guys are really tired of me talking about that. Ended in about 2 years. Like, it went through these waves. Midterms are coming up, so the restrictions will lessen. I want to read the rest of that. Into non-existence, so the Democrats can say they did something. My daughter just said, I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. I agree. Right, the president can't just say it's over and it's over. But, however, I mean, based on the numbers of, how many people are sick, and the fact that the Omicron was not a more serious offshoot, what am I trying to call that thing? Mutation. But that it was milder, and after about 2 years, the 1918 flu, it went through its waves, summer, spring, fall, and then around 2 years, people had either, God forbid, died of it or had survived it. And so then they had the natural immunity, but now more and more doctors are saying people who survive COVID have a natural immunity. Oh, I'm looking right into the sun. No wonder the camera's acting weird. Well, I'm sorry. We're just going to have to put up with that. He can drop the restrictions. Shalom, J.S. Badger. Life is interesting to say the least. Our politicians don't want this pandemic to end. They love being tyrants. We'll get to that. You're politicians, right? Well, and I'm always, hey, said Lori Huberts. Shalom. I'm always looking at both sides of a coin. So when you're an island nation like Greece and your population's not that big, you want to take a pandemic seriously, at least until you can tell if it's really serious or not. And so I can see where the politicians in your area may be a little bit more restrictive than ours. Like New Zealand, very restrictive because it's an island nation. But I think what I'm trying to say here is 2 years in, one, with a regular flu, with a regular influenza, you kind of see it pan out. People have either died or they've survived, and not so many people are sick. And you look at the mutations, if they haven't gotten deadly, there's not a lot of chance that they will. I want to say it's not ever really gone because it's a virus, just like the flu is still around. Well, it wasn't the flu in 1918, and it's still the flu today. So it's not going to be gone. It's not cured. You don't cure a virus. You either kill it, it dies out, or it survives. And because a virus has to have a host in order to survive, it has to be in somebody's system, mutating and multiplying and getting spread. The only way you ever get rid of one is the natural immunity, and it cannot find a new host. And the one it's in, it basically dies or fights it off. That's the only way, and doesn't spread it anymore. That you kill a virus. You can't cure it. You just kind of start to live with it. And that's why you've heard that during this pandemic too, where doctors are like, well, it's going to be around forever. And it might. It may be just another version of a cold that people get who haven't had it. So what do you guys think? Oh, Eric Al says, I'm awesome. Thank you. They could drop it and be heroes, but like the power too. I remember him trying to declare that it was over when he was first elected, and that did not work. Maybe this time will, right? Second or third or fourth time's a charm. Yeah, they tried that at the beginning. And for him to take credit for all the things that had been done to combat it when it was Trump's administration that did whatever they did. Whether you think masks and distancing and everything worked or not, it was Trump's administration who came up with the reaction because it was under his administration that it showed up. So how is Biden going to take any credit at all? Like, I think he lost credibility trying to say he had done it. There's Patty Sanchez. Shalom. Love to hear the baa of the goats. Yeah, this is the first time they've actually been tied out. There's our springtime flock. There were 4 of them born springtime-ish, and this is 3 of them. I've got I'm not going to show you because I don't want to get up. I'm in pain, but there was 1 male and 3 females, and this is 3 of them. And they're finally figuring out, now that they're tied, instead of fighting the rope, they should eat. And so that's why they're quiet. They're all eating. Hello? I'd hate to see COVID further politicized. Right. Yep, it's going to be another flu now to find the next crisis used to control people. Okay, so if you have seen my past videos on flus in the pandemic, I have said what follows on the tail of a pandemic, because it causes political and social change and unrest. And for America, what we had after the 1918 pandemic was a market crash for, the Depression for a good 10 years. I think we had the Dust Bowl in there as well. So we had some hard times after that. And then a world war. So, sorry to hear you're in pain. I'll pray for me. Thank you. So are we just going to skip the market crash, the Depression, and the Dust Bowl, which, no one has control over, nature will do, and just jump right into a world war? I think that's the question. No masks. Well, and I think this is a good time to bring up, we haven't really been talking that long, only 12 minutes, but I think it's a good time for us to bring up the fact that California, and it's all, hey, Rain Cat, it's all over Twitter. California is still requiring children, all of them across the state, to wear a mask to school, which is, I would just yank my child out. I would have said, no, I'm not going to make my kid wear a mask every single day for like an entire 9-month period. I would have yanked them out, but they still have to wear masks. But they showed the Super Bowl, and I don't know if they showed the whole audience, but they certainly showed a lot of famous people there, and none of them were wearing masks. Not one. Now, could be they're all vaccinated, right? They've all been vaccinated and had the booster, and so California's saying, yeah, you can, gather in public and talk to each other a foot away and whatever. If you've been vaccinated, you could still spread COVID. I'm sure you all know that. But you can research that. You can look at it online. Even the CDC says that. You can still spread COVID even though you've been vaccinated. The vaccine does not stop you from breeding the virus in your body. It stops the virus from being able to overwhelm you. It makes your case. Phoebe Wyatt, afternoon. I love to yank my granddaughter Sally staying schools. All I can do is suggest. Yep. Not all vaccines will kill what they're trying to vaccinate you for. They will make it so that thing will not, COVID is not going to kill you if you've been vaccinated. It makes your cases less serious, but you are still breeding it in your body and you are still expelling it out. I was exposed and got it from vax people. What did Rain Cat say? Amen, Kevin F. said. Everyone should teach your kids at home. Same thing here, starting with 4-year-olds. It's disgusting. Um, and that's me personally. That's me personally. I'm not. I know there's people out there who probably shouldn't, and would not be beneficial to their children having them home. They have no patience, whatever. So I'm not saying homeschooling is for every single individual, but I'm here to say my kids, my flesh and blood, no, I would not make them wear a mask. That's just weird. It felt weird as adults. I mean, people were like, I walked into a drugstore today with a mask on. Like 3 years ago, they'd be looking at me suspicious, like, what am I going to steal? So California, politically, is a mess. They are requiring children to wear masks, and yet they're allowing adults not to. And the rich and the famous don't. And you and I know, we've seen the news during the pandemic, there were governors who said, we're wearing masks in our state, and then went on vacation in other countries and other states and didn't wear masks. And the New York mayor was out eating in a restaurant with his friends and wasn't wearing a mask. And Nancy Pelosi went and got her hair cut and didn't wear a mask. So that does kind of look like tyranny versus what you would expect someone who's representing you in a legal way to act. And then you have some states that have already said, no, we're done with the mask mandate. Not going to happen here. Some of them never did allow a mask mandate. That's why I think a republic is such a cool place, because in a republic, each state has its own identity and kind of has its own rules. And so the states that said, we're tired of this nonsense, said, all right, I'm not doing this mask mandate anymore. Not going to happen. And there are countries doing it too. So do you think it's the end of the pandemic? Hey, Carrie Davis, and there's Mad Kelt. Shalom, brother. Are you planting stuff? I bet you are. Detox. Our bodies are so full of toxins from the crud we eat to the air we breathe. The viral load our bodies have put up just sets us up for when we do catch a virus for overload. Well, some of us. Seems like rules for thee, not for me, said Hunter Seeker. And some of it is the political machine now is so huge in America. Even if, some states want to have something happen, there's a whole process, and it's usually not immediate unless the governor does it, because he has a lot of power in his state. A lot of people there because of the freeness of everything. All is allowed. Don't forget the Gavin nonsense. Raincat, go ahead and remind us. In Greece and other countries in Europe, homeschooling is illegal. Many people want to homeschool, and they are just not allowed. Greek Homestead, to me, that sounds really repressive. Patty Sanchez says, welcome to crew members. Or maybe, Patty Sanchez, you are a crew member, so you get a welcome. You get a little badge by your name, and so does Gardner. And thank you for supporting the channel. I forgot to say that. Thank you all for supporting the channel. It's entirely voluntary. I'm not going to hate you if you don't want to. People suggested I do it, so I did it. Anyway, back to Europe and them not allowing homeschooling. That was another thing about our republic that was really, really cool. Some states were relaxed about the homeschooling situation, and so there were successful homeschoolers many years ago. I want to say at least 30 years ago in California and other states. And because those children were so successful, the parents were able to argue with school board members and school systems and say, hey, my child is out testing yours on every single parameter, whatever you want to call it, test. And so your argument that my child has to be in school doesn't really hold water. And also states who have like big Amish populations or maybe Catholic populations, the Amish were able to argue, religious reasons. And so in America, it was kind of a slow rolling ball. And the first time I even heard about it, we were in California. We were stationed in California, and we had a friend who was a very strict Christian, and she had already gone through the process. And some states, they equated it to a private school. So in essence, you were making your own private school in your house, and they required some paperwork from you. In some states, they allowed the religious exemption. In some states, you can like, tell them, my son is not going on your trip, or my son is not going to sit in your sex ed class, or whatever. All you got to do is write a parent note and say, I don't give my permission, and that worked. So I don't want to suggest anything illegal. I would just like to draw a picture. Say if I were in a country that said it was illegal, I would probably start having a club meeting with other parents and try as a group to form, maybe my own private school or something to kind of get that ball rolling, if that makes sense. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Detoxify or Die, great book on the subject. Joe Blundell. The media portrays it as a great magic, so why think anything different? Not sure how much longer they can keep up the nonsense, right? And we've got the truckers up in Canada. I made a post on something about them. It said politest protesters ever, because the Canadians are still in that phase of their country where they're all really polite. And so I'm sure when the threat of being arrested came, some of them were like, well, I don't want to, I don't want to bother anybody. I'll just go back home. But, right, there's a lot going on there with those trucker situations, because in some countries, the truckers are owned by businesses that don't want to lose that money. And the people on the other end, like the biggest complaint they have right now is no trade is going on between America and Canada. And so there's billions of dollars being lost while these truckers refuse to move. They're blocking important roads. And that's a thing. And it's also a thing because they're unionized in some places, and the union's going to be saying things, and it's a whole deal. And I think Pastor made a point on maybe one of his videos where they don't even need to block a road. They can just refuse to do anything. They can just leave their trucks parked in their front yard, and nothing is going to get delivered. And there are so many truckers, it would take a long time if all of them said we're not doing anything to get the drivers and the trucks to take over their routes and get that business going again. Or they might have to try to go to trains, but trains are so much slower. Now that would mean problems in supply for us, but it would also mean the truckers have now, grabbed some political power, and what do they want to do with it? So back to the question though, I want to keep on task here. Do you think the pandemic's over? The hypocrisy of the elites is galling. And there's a certain reality to that, Scotty John. I mean, if someone gave you $10 million and then said, you have to wear a mask, and you have your own chauffeur and your own car and your own plane, and you're not going out in public, you're doing your business or whatever, you'd probably be like, I'm not wearing a mask on my plane. I'm not wearing it in my chauffeur-driven car. I mean, so there's a certain reality. It is hypocritical, especially when they are, on a commercial or something saying, for everyone's health, wear a mask, and then they don't. Talking heads. But there is a reality to being rich. Like, they have power and they have influence, and that's just part of being in a capitalist society. Oh, you guys are close to each other. You guys ought to get together. You ought to meet face to face and talk about homesteading or something. I finally figured out I had to join on my desktop, can't use my other devices. Patty, I can't access the information on who's joined without my desktop also, my laptop. I can't access that on my phone. It's not even on there, so I don't blame you. Gavin wasn't wearing a mask at a party at the French Laundry restaurant. That's right. That's right. I've only worn masks 3 times, and they were doctor visits and never getting the jab, said old devil dog. I've been in isolation for 2 years now, said Mikey. Went to a doctor's appointment the other day. I'm not used to people in masks, and it was a shock in public for me. You miss a lot of human interaction, smiles and stuff. You do. It's very dehumanizing. There's this gray mouse. Shalom, Shofar Mountain peeps. Packing to move to eastern Oklahoma. Oh, nice. Wow, Mad Kelk. Cool. I like that news. Only children with special needs would be allowed to be homeschooled in Greece. So find something to say my kids special needs. They've got social anxiety or they have bad allergies or something. I mean, I just work it. The masks make you sick. All the chemicals our bodies put out are not meant to be caught in a mask. Are very exceptional cases. I would try to push we're exceptional also. Right. I hate it. I am deaf and read lips and life's been hard. Gardner 67. I didn't know you were deaf. You read lips? I'm amazed you can follow what I'm saying. Strange Guys 1111. Shalom. Thousands of parents are against masks and tests, and the government threatens to put them in jail, take away their custody, and things like that, which is terrible, Great Homestead. I mean, when you've got that going on, it's easy for me to say what I would do, but when you have those things going on, it makes it so much harder. Right? I don't even know. Maybe move. Come to America. Demolish the trailer and the house is going there because that's where the well, septic, and electric is. Oh, you've got something going on there. Wait a minute. What's she talking about? Oh, okay. You've been doing some work out there. I have so much to do here at our homestead. I rarely go in town. When I do, it's so creepy. I would rather stay home. Hello, Dustin Adkins. We were blessed with 2 new ram lambs this week. We had 2 lambs born from a very young goat. It was her first kidding, and she, for whatever reason, did not mother them, was not able to, and they both didn't make it, which is sad. So we're hoping for there are some other pregnant nannies, and we're hoping there'll be more. They'll successfully kid. I think they probably will. They have more experience. Afternoon, B-Ski. The government didn't mind the blocking when they did it. It is from a standpoint of the actual virus, from the standpoint of government and them giving up power, no. Right? I do think the virus, we have either survived it, died from it, have built up enough resistance. The new cases is going down. And I think, just like a 1918 flu, this flu has peaked, and it's going to be one of those things that we already discussed this will be around. That all of us who survived it, we have strong natural immunity. The Israeli study said that. The CDC even said that. I think there was some British research that said that. And so I think it's just one of those things that now that China introduced it into the general populace, like it's a new strain, and hopefully it's not a problem. That it doesn't rear its head, because the flu keeps mutating, and sometimes there's a more serious flu in a wintertime, and you're urged to get a shot. Same thing to help you deal with the symptoms. I've had a couple of flus in my lifetime that were just, I think one of them was called the Asian flu, and I had diarrhea, and I was throwing up, and I had a fever, and I had no energy, and blah, blah, blah. And I finally had to go to the hospital, and they didn't really give me much for stopping it, but they gave me IV fluids, and that made me feel better. So, I mean, it's over, but it's never going to be over, I guess. Praise the Father, Raincat. That's awesome. I believe it says upgraded membership to Crew Neo Pioneer. Ooh, Patty. Well, you have a couple of videos and a couple of posts on there now that you're up to the Neo Pioneer level that will be available to you. I believe the so-called variants will go on. Yeah, and variants of the flu go on now too. And Patty gets a shout out. Shout out to you and the gardener. I think the pandemic might never end. I'm of the opinion it's just part of the plan. I think they will not be able to enforce masks and all that as time goes on. And Americans were stubborn and were independent minded. And I think state by state they're going to keep Because what you're going to see is people leaving the states that keep the repressive measures and moving to states that um, don't have the repressive measures, and so that state gains tax money and that economy in that state does better. So I think when we vote with our feet, they're going to have to just go with it. We'll deal with the woo flu from now on in varying degrees. Rockland Ranch, I think that's the reality. And Becca's saying, nope, there's a lot of money involved with the shots and everything, right? Good argument. Hello, Nidaviller. To me, the pandemic is over, but authorities will try to continue this as long as they can until the next crisis. Greek Homestead, they probably will try, but I'm telling you, I think once the ball starts rolling where people don't have to wear masks, it's just going to keep going, at least for our country. There's Soapy Acres Homestead. She is up in the snow on her new property. She has a channel also. She has really good knowledge about making soap and homesteading. We enjoyed the Viking meetup yesterday. Tim, Ronnie, Mark, and there were others. We can only spend 2 hours with them as we have 4 hours travel. Woo, you went a long way. Well, good. I'm glad you got to go to it. There is Paul Garecki. Shalom. We're trying to figure out what direction the Father wants us to go. We are 8 minutes from the border, so who knows where we'll end up. Where could you go, I wonder? But I'm proud of your countryman who did the trucking thing. I think it's really cool. I was diagnosed with Meniere's when I was 3. No hearing at all in the right ear and 22% in the left. I'm used to it. Went to school for deaf for 4 years. Wow! For entering public school. My mom has Meniere's. She lost some hearing in one ear, and now she has to wear the hearing aids, but she's 85 years old, and so, and that means genetically, my offspring and I could have Meniere's also, but I don't think I do right now. At least I don't seem to be having symptoms of it. There is Carrie Schwid. Good afternoon. Much love. Thank you. People not willing to lower masks for 1 second. Scott is my hearing. Praise God for him and his love and understanding. Not easy having me. You're a hard worker. Hey, Rusty. Shalom. There is a new flu coming out. Hemorrhagic fever. Leanne 49 hemorrhagic. It is a type of hemorrhagic fever. Is that what you are saying? Because hemorrhagic fever is its own entity, and Ebola is a hemorrhagic fever. It means excessive bleeding is what hemorrhagic means. We've had it in the second time way week. I eat garlic, ginger, and drink elderberry juice. I haven't had any issue with chronic diseases that I used to. That's interesting. Garlic, ginger, and elderberry juice. Hello, lamp keeper. Shalom. Birds flu scare spreading now. Yeah, and they were saying, that's bad news for producers, large-scale producers of chickens. If you have your own flock and you keep it separated from other people's flocks, they're probably not going to get it unless it, goes to the natural bird population. And it comes from usually people overcrowding in places like China. I think I'm way behind. There's Teresa Jukowitz. Shalom. I think I am way behind. Oh, I'm way behind. I'm losing my hearing in one ear, not enough for a hearing device, but enough to drive me and everyone around me nuts with all my, what did you say? And I'm only 40. I'm sorry, Sarah. That is no fun. Makes it hard. I don't have hearing loss now, but I imagine I would find it very frustrating. I do, and I think I would be looking into hearing aids just so I could keep up with conversation. But Gardner67 says she read lips. I'm finally losing my COVID brain and getting energy back. I missed out on so much. I kind of forgot that COVID had that COVID brain. It's been a while since we had it. But you're right, we were kind of foggy, and I lost the taste and the smell, which was terrible, because I'm a pretty good cook, and we eat a lot of variety of things, and I love, smelling. I love all grass and the wind and the goats and the, herbs and gardens and everything, and so that was really hard for me. All right, so is the pandemic over? drive everyone. My hubby is getting a hearing aid this week. I can't wait. Yeah, they're important. I think it's the crusting of it and everything is over. I think people have survived it, got their immunity, either passed away. And the thing about everyone who passed away, God bless their families. That is tough. It kind of wiped out a lot of our older generation, and our older generation was the generation that had seen and done things and were kind of conservative, a lot of them. It also killed a lot of people with comorbidities, diabetics, overweight, people with respiratory issues, smokers, people with heart issues. It killed a lot of those people. And I'm wondering if it is a bioweapon by design, if that wasn't what they were hoping for. And it's really sad to think about that. And how it ruined families and how it took people that people cared about and weren't ready to lose yet. And I think that's the really big unspoken, the media doesn't cover it. The really tragedy of this pandemic is who it took and how many orphans there are now. I think I read an article that said 200,000 orphans in America because of this pandemic. That's bad. That's a tough thing for those orphans and their families and the people who are going to be raising them, the aunts and the uncles and the grandparents who are going to be raising these orphans, and in some cases, young adults. Someone in the family's 18 or 19, who take the responsibility of parenting their younger siblings too. That's a hard row to hoe, and people have done it in the past and survived. It's just, it didn't have to happen. If the Chinese had not released this, none of this would have happened. And we can't forget that. We've got Olympians in China now. Why? Why did we send our Olympians to that country? They are not our friend. They aren't. And la-di-da. So everything tastes terrible still, said Kevin Beckley. I have onset weird headaches and brain fog and fatigue. It hits randomly out of nowhere. I'm sorry. I lost taste and smell for over a year. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was only a few months for us. I can't imagine losing it for a year. We were lucky we didn't lose it, but it was off. We do appreciate you and PJ. Well, I'm glad I'm of some help. That's my main. None of my muscles due to muscular dystrophy, but I have great hearing. Well, that's good. I'm sorry you have muscular dystrophy. That's tough too. That's why I love your videos. You always look right at the camera. Well, I love your videos for a multitude of reasons. You're a great gal. Well, thank you, Gardner67. I'm a great gal sometimes. There are times when I'm not a great gal, and I already shared that on the community section, but I'm kind of getting over it, and this week I'm very optimistic because of the time of year. I've already been in the greenhouse. The greenhouse seems to be performing the way we intended it to perform. It's certainly not perfect, but I'm looking forward to planting seeds, and I got excited watching Reap What You Sow's video where she was planting seeds and planted potatoes. Her husband made rows for her with his tractor, and then she had all these potatoes she'd saved from last year. I got excited. She's in Louisiana, so it's a little bit warmer where she is, but it just, woo, so disorienting. I'll flip be until I experience it. Yeah, it's really, it's an ending because Johnson also suspended production of their vax in favor of an experimental vax for an unspecified but unrelated virus. Interesting. Someone, Gail Rouse, a longtime supporter, sent us a copy of a HR bill that supposedly came out in 2019, where they were saying they wanted to be able to surveil people and take statistics and everything on a possible pandemic outbreak, and that was 2019. It's like the conspiracy theories were true. Hello, Sister Kate. Love talking to you when we were in Kentucky. Ronnie. All right, Ronnie, you're going to have to help me because there were like 30 or 40 of you guys. Were you the guy who helped me in the kitchen, or were you a military vet? Help me out here. Old lady, we were just talking about the elders. Remember how life used to be and their value to society. Wondered the same thing. The world's government's in a position for all of this where they could not afford all the government entitlements for the elderly. Ooh, that's even more sinister. Just think of all the pensions that no longer have to be paid. Part of the reason there was a huge transfer of wealth. Ooh, that's so... I mean, you guys are smart to have figured that out, but God, that's sinister. Ran off with a 1-year-old overseas from mental stress of COVID, loss of job, and isolation. The response killed my family, and COVID nearly killed me after the vax. Oh my gosh, Dusty. My wife ran off with a 1-year-old overseas from mental stress of COVID, loss of job, and isolation. The response killed my family, and COVID nearly killed me after that. Dusty, you have had a hard time of it. Never forget, right? Eating burnt orange helped get your taste better. 3 days her taste was better. Interesting. Hey, DK, thank you. One thing I miss about California is my garden, right? Warm weather. Just ordered sweet potatoes. Is audio out for others or just for me? And I can hear. Praying. Would have been worse without the jab. Patty, ours was very mild. We didn't need it. We sold everything on our terms and started over again. We have been blessed to not get sick. Wow, you avoided it, Soapy. Whew, that puts you in a kind of precarious position, because if you come in contact with anyone who's been vaxxed, they can still give it to you. And I'm not sure if us with natural immunity are also spreading it or not, but man, you now are going to have to stay in isolation, and you're going to run the risk of catching it if you come in contact with other people. I got seeds all waiting to hit the dirt. All right, y'all. I'm going to get going simply because this was not intended to be a long one. These daytime ones, I want them to be 20 minutes, but y'all bring up good points, and I enjoyed talking to you, so they end up being longer. But it's lunchtime, and I'm hungry. And I need to get down there and make something to eat and get fed. But I appreciate every single one of you all. Thank you so much. Dusty, I hope your life gets back to normal. And everybody recovers. And I think we can probably say the pandemic is over, but we'll wait and see. Y'all be blessed too. You say it sounds sinister, but what you need to see when you watch videos of G. Charles. Oh, they're sinister. No, don't get me wrong on that. No, I agree. I'm just saying it's just more evil than I would have guessed in my own mind. Yeah, Bill Gates. Ugh. Yeah, Bill Gates, look. I don't care what Bill Gates says. He's a successful businessman. I don't care if he wants to vaccinate the world. He is not a doctor. No. They are evil. All right, bless y'all. Thanks for coming. Yep. Lampkeeper says she'll bring tea next time. Yes. I like herbal. I like the stuff one of y'all sent me. Was it you, Soapy? The Nova Scotia? That's some interesting tea there. That thing, got some flavors. All right, bless y'all. Shalom. Yah shines from you. I hope so. All right. Oh, there, I have to push the X. There we go. Shalom.